it fuels those negative people to continue saying negative things about you.
I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. When it's behind your name, that's when a lot of people are like, oh, they think, oh, I don't like her.
And now you want sympathy. Where was sympathy for all of those who you exposed your villainness?
Imagine a world where basketball conversations are dominated by comparisons that make no sense, debates that stir controversy instead of celebrating skill. Imagine if the legacy of Steph Curry, the greatest shooter the NBA has ever seen, was constantly measured against someone like Andre Drummond.
I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time.
A player who is a force near the basket, but doesn't have Curry's finesse or shooting prowess. The notion sounds absurd, right? Yet here we are, watching something similar play out in women's basketball as Clark and Angel Reese are framed by the media.
That her fan base has gone, I'm talking about like...
It's a lot.
As if they're counterparts of equal skill and influence. The hype surrounding this so-called rivalry began with a moment during the 2023 NCAA Championship. Clark had been a standout player long before then, leading her league in both points and assists. But despite her obvious talent, Clark's name didn't reach the peak of the public conversation until Angel Reese made headlines with a few taunting gestures. The now famous "you can't see me" wave and a point to her ring finger, aimed at Clark after Reese's team took the title. Since that viral moment, the media has been fixated on framing them as equals.
Clark, before Angel Reese, walked up to her, did this.
But for those who have actually followed their games, the comparison is baffling. To fully grasp how flawed this comparison is, let's look at the numbers from their rookie seasons. Clark's impact was undeniable. She didn't just put up points. She orchestrated plays, brought energy, and led her team, the Indiana Fever, to the playoffs.
Line, like, shatter, not even that big, but they're gonna put like a small little screw in it. And I wasn't going for it getting any bigger. And long term, I literally could have like not played anymore because my bone is, this is a very hard place to heal because the blood flow is like literally little to none. So that was an option. So I'm getting surgery on Tuesday.
Her stats painted a picture of a versatile playmaker and sharpshooter, capable of scoring from all over the court. Angel Reese, meanwhile, focused primarily on close-range shots and rebounds. And her team, the Chicago Sky, ended the season at the bottom of the standings. This discrepancy in both style and results highlights a stark contrast in their impact on the court. Yet the media narrative refuses to acknowledge it. In one eyebrow-raising instance, a tweet suggested that both Reese and Clark deserved the Rookie of the Year award. The claim might sound fair to those wanting a storybook rivalry, but for those who understand the stats, it simply doesn't hold up. Not only did Clark outscore and outperform Reese in almost every game they played against each other, but she also led her team to the playoffs while Reese's team languished at the bottom. Their last matchup was particularly telling. Clark posted an impressive 31 points and 12 assists, showcasing her all-around game, while Reese's stats were modest.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one.
And she seemed more focused on reaching a double-double than influencing the game's outcome. It's not that Reese isn't skilled, it's that their contributions are vastly different, and trying to equate them feels misleading. Off the court, the contrast between the two grows even starker. Recently, Angel Reese gained attention with her comments on WNBA salaries. She lamented that the pay wasn't enough to cover her $8,000 monthly rent, a valid frustration for athletes working tirelessly for their sport. However, her comments came off as somewhat detached from the reality of most fans, many of whom would be overjoyed to make even a fraction of that sum. Her tone of living beyond my means seemed dismissive, and instead of shedding light on the financial struggles of WNBA athletes, it inadvertently distanced her from her audience. Meanwhile, Clark was making headlines of her own with a massive $28 million endorsement deal with Nike, a record-breaking achievement in women's basketball. Yet Clark's response wasn't to flaunt her new wealth. Instead, she went straight back to work, hitting the gym with a renewed dedication to her craft. Clark has taken a decidedly low-key approach to her success, focusing on growth rather than celebrity, and it has resonated deeply with fans. She recently went viral for a training video in which she drained 25 consecutive three-pointers, an accomplishment that underscores her tireless work ethic and passion. This single-minded dedication has made Clark a fan favorite, a symbol of what people want to see in athletes: determination, skill, and humility. Watching Caitlin Clark play is like watching a master at work. She possesses an impressive range, knocking down deep threes reminiscent of NBA stars like Stephen Curry and Damian Lillard. Her highlight reels show her pulling up from impossible distances, creating plays out of thin air, and handling the ball with the finesse and control of a seasoned pro. Angel Reese's highlight reel, by contrast, emphasizes her strength near the basket, where her scoring occurs mostly within 5 feet of the hoop. It's an effective but limited style compared to Clark's versatile, dynamic play. In fact, Reese only made 3 shots from beyond the arc in an entire season. This limitation in her range further highlights the difference in their games, making the comparison even more puzzling. Johnson, a comparison that seems almost laughable. Bird and Magic were balanced in their skills, capable of scoring, passing, and controlling the game in versatile ways. Caitlin Clark's game, with her court vision, shooting, and playmaking, draws some loose comparisons to these legends, but the similarity ends there. Angel Reese, for all her strengths, doesn't bring the same diverse arsenal. Their games couldn't be more different, and this attempt to create a Bird and Magic storyline feels like an unnecessary oversimplification. As we move toward the 2025 WNBA season, it's becoming clear that Caitlin Clark is on a path toward league-wide recognition. Her rookie season was one for the record books, averaging nearly 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists per game, which already placed her 4th in the MVP rankings, a rare feat for a rookie. As she continues to grow, it's very possible her stats will reach even greater heights, potentially averaging 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists per game. In fact, her performance over the last 10 games of the season, where she averaged 24 points and 9 assists, was on par with the best WNBA MVP seasons of the past. Comparing her performance to previous WNBA MVPs reveals just how exceptional her game has become. Aja Wilson's 2024 season, where she averaged 27 points per game, is the closest comparison. But no WNBA MVP has ever averaged over 5 assists per game. The highest was Cynthia Cooper with 4.7 assists back in 1997. Caitlin Clark is on track to possibly lead the league in both scoring and assists, a feat unseen in both the WNBA and NBA since Nate Archibald did it in 1973. This isn't just an impressive stat, it's an indication of her potential to reshape what's possible in women's basketball. Clark's star power doesn't end with her on-court performance. Recently ranked as one of the world's most marketable athletes, she came in 4th, surpassing sports icons like Lionel Messi and trailing only behind the likes of LeBron James. This recognition highlights her potential to elevate women's basketball to new heights. And it's puzzling that, even with this monumental influence, the media insists on painting her alongside Angel Reese as if they are evenly matched. The insistence on creating this rivalry dilutes Caitlin's accomplishments, overshadowing her skill and dedication with an artificial narrative. Reese, though talented, has yet to show the same level of impact or versatility on the court. By focusing on an imagined rivalry, the media risks downplaying the real story. Caitlin Clark is leading a transformative era in women's sports, inspiring countless fans with her unmatched work ethic and focus on excellence. The 2024 WNBA championship game highlighted that the league still faces challenges in delivering consistent quality play that captivates audiences. Caitlin's growing popularity offers hope, signaling that the WNBA's most exciting years may lie ahead, shaped by her skill and dedication. As fans, it's vital to recognize her talent rather than be swayed by narratives that create rivalries where they don't truly exist. As the WNBA stands at a historic turning point, it's time we start celebrating genuine talent like Caitlin Clark for what it is. Revolutionary. By focusing on her, we're not only witnessing the dawn of a new era in women's basketball, but we're also celebrating the dedication, skill, and vision that will inspire generations to come.